Hold up, why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bet.
Welcome back, y'all. This is the Miscellaneous Minds Podcast. I'm your host, Jesus Dinero, here with my co-host,
Puma El Gato,
What do we got going on tonight, my man?
Adrien Broner, and his further descent from his fall from grace. Let's talk about it.
You know, I, like a lot of people, when watching Adrien Broner, for a long time wanted to see him get that beat down. And the reason we wanted to see him get that beat down is because Adrien Broner was walking around like he was the next Floyd Mayweather. And to be fair to Adrien Broner, a lot of people were kind of designating him that. If you looked at a lot of his fights, even when he became champion, he was kind of set up in a way to... He was given the best possible road. Let me put it that way. He was essentially being set up to be champion. So when he went to go face Maidana, and he got that humiliating ass whooping that kind of set him straight, so much so that he didn't even do an interview after that beatdown. I think ever since then, it just messed with Adrian's mind so much. It stuck to him so badly that he personally couldn't get over it. Now listen, I'm not one to harp on that type of stuff. Things happen. I get it. We all have bad nights. So even though I wanted to see that beatdown and I was glad in that moment in time when it happened, I'm definitely the type of person where I believe that if you really want to redeem yourself, you can. That being said, Adrien Broner never wanted to redeem himself. In his subsequent fights, he made a number of excuses as to why he couldn't win. He made a number of fights, even with people that we all would think Adrien Broner would be able to win. And no, he just kept on losing. And unfortunately, the reality of Adrien Broner's career became that of sad and disgrace more than a former prominent boxer. I think a lot of the fame that Adrien Broner was getting before he was defeated by Maidana was because, again, he was associated with Floyd Mayweather. He was also undefeated up until that moment in time. The only difference is when Floyd won, he didn't go out and party as insanely as Adrien Broner did. Adrien Broner took it to the next level, partied harder. He spent way more money than he had, so on and so forth. He believed himself to be Floyd Mayweather already when he wasn't. And to be honest with you, I don't ever think he was ever going to really be Floyd Mayweather, but he carried himself like he was. That being said, we've all seen a number of things happen. Adrien Broner being accused of shootings, Adrien Broner being accused of different things, putting hands on certain people that he shouldn't be putting his hands on. Very recently, he was named as part of a RICO case where he was essentially, I guess, scamming. He was named in a RICO case in relation to the Rolling 60 something else. But in that, he was brought up that I guess he was scamming a bunch of, I believe it was NFL players. Might have been NBA players. Don't quote me on that. Basically scamming them in a fixed dice game, so on and so forth. So basically what I'm saying is we've just seen Adrien Broner fall so far. Because even though I personally wasn't high on his stock even before he lost to Maidana, there was a part of me that thought he can be something. It just, unfortunately for Adrien Broner, he was given the easy road for a long time, and he bought into his own hype that so much so that he lost sight of reality. Don't get me wrong, yes, he beat the Paulo Malignaggi's of the world and stuff like that, but I'll be honest with you, at that point in Paulo I personally don't think Paulo Malignaggi was that great of a boxer. I know, again, a lot of people are going to say, hey, oh, he was champion, blah, blah, blah. But again, it's real easy to talk a lot of that when that shit when you're a champion, when you've gotten an easy road before you. I feel like while Adrien Broner does have a few good notable names on his records that he beat, it wasn't that many. It wasn't that deep of a boxing record if you look at his fights to really say, oh, yeah, he was definitely going to be one of the all-time greats. Unfortunately for Adrien Broner, he just wasn't. And I think all of that combined made it really hard for Adrien Broner to cope with reality. When he first took that loss, it just made it hard for him mentally to recover from that, because him, like a lot of other boxers, even boxers today, are so fixated on not losing that that the second they do, they can't come back from it. They get stuck on that. The Floyd Mayweather effect, so to speak. And I think, unfortunately for Adrien Broner, it's just been a sad decline into a lot of this stuff where, again, he's having to fix dice games in order to make a good buck, because unfortunately he's just not getting any big time fights anytime soon. And the reality of it is, as time goes on, the likelihood of him mounting any sort of a comeback, it's non-existent. Let's be honest. Boxing is a young man's game, and very few get to really experience high level early in their career. And unfortunately, that time has passed for Adrien Broner. Which it's sad because while I personally can't say that I was ever a big fan of Adrien Broner, there were aspects of when Adrien Broner calmed down, when he wasn't trying to be arrogant like he was for so many years. The human side of him came out, and he started becoming a real person, and that's when I started feeling bad for the guy for going down this hill that he was going down. And listen, I'm the type that I will respect anyone that gets in there and boxes, because you are to a certain degree putting your life on the line. We've seen a number of boxers die over the years, so you are to a certain degree putting your life on the line. That being said, I feel like the biggest reason that Adrien Broner didn't achieve the highest of highs that he could have experienced is because of Adrien Broner. He took shortcuts. He partied way too hard. He was out there drinking, doing drugs, so on and so forth. It's all documented. And because of those things, Adrien Broner just never achieved what he probably could have fully achieved in his day. But what do you think about that, my man?
Look, we all have our opinions regarding Adrien Broner. We can say he wasn't that great of a boxer. We can say, okay, he was on the prominence to become greater. Whether or not, we can't deny that Adrien Broner was in the spotlight, at least for a good reason. Like he had to have been in the spotlight for at least a good reason. And when you go from somebody that at the very least that everybody couldn't stop paying attention to now being named by the FBI. I don't even know if he was the main person that they were looking for, but being named by the FBI in a RICO case. If it was a state RICO case, that's one thing. If you're being named directly by the FBI, you're already on the way to getting your ass being handed into a jail cell. And that's the thing. He was named in a RICO case, but I don't think he was the main man that the FBI was looking for. But the fact that he was named in and of itself, he's already pretty much playing with fire at that point. Which, again, you're playing with fire and you're on the way to being in a jail cell. And it always astounds me to have that much opportunity, to have that much money, and you don't have any sort of side pocket opportunity like Canelo Alvarez, what was it, getting into golfing as like a bit of an exit strategy, exit ramp for his post career. And I think even he's owned or has a stake in a gasoline convenience store company. And again, you see Shaq having God knows how many sponsorships, having sponsorships with Icy Hot, Domino's, all these things. I think insurance companies, yeah, all these energy drinks. And Adrien Broner didn't secure one, especially when he was in the limelight for that long. He could have at least set something up as a bit of a cushion for when he had to exit the fight game at that point. And the fact that he's potentially going to jail by the FBI over something as little as a dice game. Really? Back alley dice, that's the hill that you're willing to die on, all for this, over scamming NBA players? It is insane to me. It's insane to me that all this potential road to prominence is going to be lost over petty game of $5 million dice. It is insane to me.
Yeah, man, listen, Adrien Broner is the definition of wasted talent, because while, again, I don't think he was ever, one of those top main guys, he did have name prominence. Again, maybe just because he was associated with Mayweather, but whatever. He did have name prominence, and he was champion for a while. The problem is, again, he constantly gets in the way of his own success. And unfortunately for Adrien Broner, at this juncture, I just don't see a way out for him. He's a perpetual fuck up. He doesn't take anything that he does seriously. I think at this point he's scared of the reality that he has to face. He's become the classic story of someone that had a lot of money and wasted it all. And he's not even that old. Adrien Broner's not that old of a guy. So to be this hard up at this point in your life, it kind of sucks, man. But listen, it is what it is. Hopefully he gets back on track. Hopefully he has some money, man. That way he can start, fixing some sort of retirement for himself, because unfortunately, as of right now, it just does not look good for him. I believe he was actually recently arrested, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, man, even though I was initially not a big fan of him, and I was ready for that ass kicking that Madonna eventually gave him. I'm also a human being, and I can understand that we all go through shit, and hopefully he gets back on the right track, man, because I think deep down he's a likable guy. I just think when he lets go of the arrogance and he becomes a human being, he could definitely do a lot better for himself. But look, it is what it is. Hopefully he comes out of this smelling like roses and not like shit. But we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes. And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
Until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you in the next one.